Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing fine on this Saturday morning, guys. How you feeling? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling confident? Manchester United play tomorrow, of course, guys. We're leading up to that, the most important game of the weekend, of course, with the biggest team in the Premier League, which is Manchester United. Forget the hearsay. It's all about Manchester United. Of course it is, guys. Before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to smash a like on the video. All that jazz. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Of course, guys, how you all feeling, guys? Now, transfer news about Manchester United. Now, look, there's not one player that I haven't mentioned on this channel. There's not one player I haven't covered on this channel in regards to transfer speculation, who we're going to sign. Is it centre-back, midfield, striker, whoever it is? I've probably covered it over the last, couple of years. Manchester United do have a list. They have a couple of lists, right? They have a couple of lists. One list is if we qualify for Europe, and one list is if we don't qualify for Europe. Obviously, Manchester United had in the last summer, a list of where players that will be interested in coming to Man United where we don't qualify for Europe, and we use that list to sign our players. Now, that's not to say you can't sign some of the players on the list that are Europe, that if we did qualify for Europe, obviously you have to pay a little bit extra money on wages and stuff like that. But Manchester United, in general, still have this list. And a lot of those players are still on that list. And a lot of these players that I'm going to be mentioning have been on that list for over a year. And this is why I have mentioned them on more than one occasion. Now, many of these players should have been at Man United already. Some of them, are now linked to other clubs around Europe. And this is why Man United are very slow in the market. If we see a talented player, we should try and get him. And it's simple as that at the end of the day. Especially if they're a young player, we shouldn't be waiting around, beating around the bush, trying to second guess whether we should sign him or not. Now, one of the players that I've mentioned over the last, year or so, is a gentleman named Tarek Maharamovic. He plays for Sassuolo in Italy, 22 years old, centre-back. He's Bosnian, 10 caps. He's also being scouted now. Before, he was scouted by nobody, let's just say. But he's now being scouted by Spurs, Newcastle, Napoli, Bournemouth, Milan, AC Milan, and Inter. Valued at around 14 million, the Bosnian international has jumped leaps and waves. Napoli want him, of course, in Serie A. He's doing incredibly well. A very good, versatile defender, strong, demanding, domineering defender that Man United have been looking at for over a year now. And I mentioned Maharamovic. It's easy, but I'm calling him Tarek. That's why I'm calling him Tarek Maharamovic. Tarek Maharamovic, of course, I've been speaking about it must have been 6 months ago, to be honest. 6 months ago, I spoke about Tarek, and he is a very talented player that Man United have been scouting. I mean, how many games do we scout? I mean, how many games? We've probably been to every single game of these bloody all season. The amount of time we take scouting players is ridiculous. So when you see a talented player, it's all about great scouts will spot a talented player, and they'll know straight away whether this is the player that Man United need. This is the player that Man United want. If it's a good scout, they'll know straight away, this is the guy. This is the guy that Man United should be signing. And we don't seem to do that. We seem to wait around, maybe second guess ourselves, doubt ourselves and stuff like that. Is it too expensive? Should we be spending that money? And then we go and make a big, huge mistake anyway by signing someone that doesn't work. It's ridiculous. But yeah, Maharamovic, 22-year-old Sassuolo, Bosnian international, 10 caps for Bosnia, wanted by an array of clubs, not just Spurs, Newcastle, Napoli, Bournemouth, AC Milan, Napoli, Inter Milan. He's wanted by a lot of clubs around Europe, including Dortmund as well, and Bayern, and loads of teams around Europe are interested in this guy. So if Man United really want to get this player, then they should get him. 14 million is not going to break the bank as well. And especially if we do lose Harry Maguire, we got a ready-made defender to walk in there. And he's not very young. He's young, but he's not an 18, 19-year-old. He's 22 going on 23. So he's played a number of first-team football in his career. Second player, I mean, I don't know how they do it, guys. I really don't. But River Plate. I don't know how River Plate managed to produce so many good youngsters. I mean, obviously, a lot of those youngsters don't work. A lot of them go to Europe, and I think they go too soon. One of the biggest things I say about River Plate and Argentinians, right, is that a lot of them are young, they're very highly rated, and then they go to a club which is too big, in my opinion. And that's just what I think about it. They go to a club which is too big. For example, going to Real Madrid at 19 years old. You know you're not going to get in that team. Why would you go to Real Madrid? Now, I take it back when I was working, and I used to know the father of a footballer called John Akinde. And John Akinde was a very good footballer, playing in a non-league in England, National League. And Maidstone is playing, the club he was playing for. And he was wanted by a number of championship clubs, League One clubs, League Two clubs. Okay, so basically, there was a club who went in for him called Peterborough United, I believe it was. Was it Peterborough United? It was one of those things. Peterborough United and Bristol City were two of the biggest clubs that were interested in John Akinde. And John Akinde's father asked me, he said, what, I don't know what to do with John Akinde. He's wanted by a number of clubs. I wanted to ask your opinion on which club should he sign for, your football and stuff like that. And one of the clubs was Alex Ferguson's son, right? Darren Ferguson. I think he managed at the time Peterborough, if I'm not wrong. And another club was Bristol City. Now, Alex Ferguson's son Alex Ferguson, of course, the legend at Manchester United, right? Manager. Alex Ferguson's son managed Peterborough. So Alex Ferguson's son, whilst I was at work, rang John Akinde's father and tried to persuade John Akinde to come to Peterborough United. Bristol City were the bigger club. And he ended up signing for Bristol City, even though Alex Ferguson's son. And I told John Akinde's dad, go to Peterborough, and he said, why? They're a smaller club. I said, because you'll get first team football, you won't be on the bench, you have more opportunity, you build your value, and then more teams will want you in a year's time. He went to Bristol City, which was the championship club at the time, and Peterborough were the League One club. So obviously he went to the higher club. Lo and behold, there were players in that Bristol City team that are already internationals, guys, and ended up not really doing well and ended up going back down, So at the end of the day, sometimes you have to think low, not like lower in regards. You have to think you have to think smartly, you have to think maturely, you have to think about your career. Are you going to get first team football? Are you going to play football? And a lot of these South American players, they leave South America and they look at Real Madrid and they see the bright lights and they see Real Madrid and they think, wow, absolutely incredible. Right. And John Akinde, you can check him out, actually. Look him up. I'm not sure he's playing for now. But these South American players, they come to Europe, they say Real Madrid and they say Barcelona, and they think, wow, this is amazing. Yeah, massive club. I can't believe this club's after me. I'm going to Real Madrid. So I can tell all my mates and I can tell all my family I'm going to Real Madrid. Or I'm going to Chelsea. Or I'm going to Barcelona. I'm going to tell all my family I'm going there. But when they get there, they realize, damn, there's about 50 very, very good players. And how am I going to get into this squad? When you think about Arda Güler, for example, Arda Güler at Real Madrid, he's another one who, very good player, but can't quite break into the team, but very good player because they've got so many good players. And not only that, in regards to if we're bringing Real Madrid into the equation, you think about the assets that they've got. The players that they've got are valuable, very valuable, of course, So you have to be very careful what choice you make. Now, bringing it to Manchester United, there's a gentleman, young player named Lautaro Rivero. Lautaro Rivero is a 22-year-old centre-back, left-footed centre-back with one cap for Argentina already, playing for River Plate as well. Now, Manchester United have earmarked Lautaro Rivero. We have not been to South America. We have not scouted him. Visit in South America. We got computers and stuff like that to do that now. We got index and stats and stuff and all the details at your very fingertips. Before you had to fly over to the destination to Argentina to scout a player. Nowadays, you don't need to do that. You can just look on the computer. There's no point getting a flight over to Argentina, is there? So Lautaro Rivero, centre back for River Plate, has shown that Manchester United have shown interest and admiration for this player. Another centre back, a left-footed centre-back. Man United are looking for a left-footed centre-back. They are looking to revamp that centre-back positions somewhat. If we don't forget, we've lost Varane, we've lost Lindelof, and we may lose Maguire as well. That's 3 centre-backs. And those centre-backs have not been replaced, right? You got De Ligt, you got Euro, we got Licha, right? Mazza, of course, guys, as well. And Aiden Heaven. 5 defenders there. Obviously, Mazza's more of a fullback, if you know what I mean. So he don't really count as a centre-back, in my opinion. So Man United are looking for cover in that position and cover around the pitch, or various parts of the pitch as well. So that is important that Man United cover that position, because if we do lose Maguire, we're going to be a little bit thin as well. We are thin anyway in regards to the whole squad. Our whole squad is thin. We don't have a big squad, guys, and you know what I mean. And we need to sign at least, I think, in my opinion, 6 players. Which I don't think we're going to do, to be honest. I don't think we're going to sign 6 players. This is why when we were talking about the swap deals, I think Man United should really utilize the swap deals in regards to Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford going for Casado, for example. Mark Casado, Marcus Rashford. It's a no-brainer, isn't it, guys? It will be. It is because at the end of the day, Marcus Rashford doesn't want to play for Man United. Majority of the fans don't want Marcus Rashford back. Get Marcus Rashford out, bring in Mark Casado. Mark Casado, central defensive midfielder, 22 years old. Guys, it will be absolutely. The touchline is reporting that Barcelona have proposed including midfielder Mark Casado in the swap deal with Manchester United for on-loan winger Marcus Rashford. Now, this is obviously the touchline. I don't know how much you weight you put on that, of course, guys. 3 days ago, guys, Barcelona was saying that they're not interested in selling Mark Casado, but Marcus Rashford could entice, could persuade. Of course, Marcus Rashford scored the other night. Barcelona in doing business with Manchester United in regards to a swap deal. And I do believe we should really push that going forward, push that through the door, because at the end of the day, I do believe that Casado is a very good player and he'd be a very good signing for Man United. And obviously, it will cover a position that we really need, and, it will help us next season. It will help us in the summer in regards to the transfer window, saving a little bit of time as well. Do you know what I mean? Rather than negotiating price and this and that and whatnot, of course. Of course, it does depend on Mark Casado. And it is said that Mark Casado would prefer a team in the Champions League. And obviously, Man United do have to qualify for the Champions League. Champions League here is the key for Man United. It's the key. Champions League for Man United is a bit like Man United having an amazing window and Man United having a bang average window. You know what I mean? Like we had in the summer, if we're being honest. Yes, Mbeumo and Cunha, fantastic. Sesko, fantastic signing, sending the men's last minute. But it was nowhere near enough. And that's what I mean in regards to the quantity. The quantity was bang average. We got 4 out of 10 window, which is why it was a 4 out of 10, because of the quantity, not the quality at the end of the day. So I would say that Casado is a player that Man United would be able to acquire, but it obviously depends on Man United qualifying for the Champions League. And if we're going to do a swap deal, of course, it would really, really help us going forward in regards to our timings in the summer and the World Cup going on. And as we know, it's the World Cup. I said it before, 2 weeks before the World Cup, players go off to the World Cup. 2 weeks afterwards, they're having a holiday. So it's going to be very difficult to negotiate transfers and stuff like that in such a short space of time. And as we know about this ownership, they're going to be, very, very excuse-ridden. They're going to use excuses. And any little excuse, they would elevate into a next level, and then we use it. Oh, because the World Cup, we couldn't do any deals and blah de blah de blah. You know the old jazz, don't you? At the end of the day, and that's what it is. Rumours about Nathaniel Brown as well. That has been going on this week. Of course, Manchester United are interested in Nathaniel Brown, have been for a while, but it's another player that has been on the Manchester United wish list for a while. The left back, left winger, left midfielder, 22-year-old, 48 million valuation. It is intensifying the links with Nathaniel Brown. Man United have been interested in him before, but it was a little bit, we're looking at him at the moment, but we're not too sure. But the links to Nathaniel Brown are intensifying. Now, there's rumours, just rumours, by the way. I believe it when I see it, that Luke Shaw could lead the football club at the end of the season. I would be amazed. I'll probably do an all-day stream if Luke Shaw left Man United, because Luke Shaw has been at Man United for how long now? 13, 14 years? Ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. And Man United are looking to bolster that left-back position. Nathaniel Brown is said to be an absolute game-changing player for Manchester United. Liverpool are doing business. Liverpool are looking at bringing in Dumfries. Liverpool are looking at, Jones is going to be going as well, guys. So Liverpool are looking to do a deal with Dumfries. They're working, they're doing business, and Man United are just static at the moment. All these names that we're being mentioned right now are names that are going to be in the summer, 100%. And it is disappointing and it is frustrating, especially as Manchester United fans. We want to have the best opportunity of qualifying for that Champions League, because we know if we qualify for that Champions League, we know that's going to have a domino effect on the future of Man United, isn't it? It's going to have a domino effect, and in a positive way if we qualify, because you qualify, you get that 100 million, you could reboot, you boost your squad, players would be more interested in coming to you, more attracted in coming to you. Lots of things can happen if you're in the Champions League, rather than you not being in the Champions League. Like, I want to play in the Champions League sort of thing. Because this is what the players are like these days, isn't it? These players are like that, Now, a cult hero, almost, in regards to transfer rumors, right? A cult hero in regards to transfer rumors is our guy, Ayoub Boadi. Now, Ayoub Boadi is an 18-year-old centre midfielder currently playing for Lille in France. Now, Ayoub Boadi has been linked to Man United for a while now. I think it's nearly a year. Now, a very, very talented, generational French player, of course, guys. It continues to be a priority for Manchester United in regards to their Man United's philosophy, in regards to their plan and their project that they're trying to do. Ayoub Boadi fits that mold perfectly. And the guy is, I'm telling you, people ignore Boadi. They ignore these type of players. Where Boadi, if we don't sign him, he will go elsewhere. He's the sort of player that will go to Brighton, and in a couple of years' time, he'll be a 60, 70 million player. Like Baleba, of course. Lille going to Brighton, doing well. And people don't forget that before Baleba signed for Brighton, Man United were interested in him. Man United wanted Baleba. They were linked to him, but we didn't make the move. Now, Ayoub Boadi reminds me of this, but this is on the next stratosphere. This is the next level. Ayoub Boadi is going to be a French international. Very good player, guys. Lille are waiting for offers for the 18-year-old at the moment. They're waiting for offers. His valuation is 60 million euros. It's a lot of money when you're thinking about a player that's generally unproven, of course, in regards to first team football and stuff. It just broke through the scene, really, isn't he? He's just broke through, only 18 years old. Manchester United has expressed an interest in 18-year-old Ayoub Boadi as the club explores more affordable options. Now, affordable in quotation marks, because at the end of the day, Ayoub Boadi is not necessarily as affordable, as more expensive than Anderson, for example. Let me give you an example. Because, for example, if Nottingham Forest get relegated this season, Anderson's price will dramatically reduce. So basically, Anderson will go from an 80 million to like a 65 million kind of player that Man United can acquire. And the same goes with Baleba. Baleba's price has already dropped 40%. There's a very good reason for this, guys. There's a very good reason. Some may say it's desperation, because they really want to offload him because, it's not quite working out for him at the moment. But Ayoub Boadi is a 60 million euro starting price. Of course, it will go up. Don't worry about that. But is a player that I would say is a generational. I don't throw that word at it lightly, guys. I don't throw that word out lightly. But Ayoub Boadi is for me a generational midfielder that Man United should acquire and try. And when he comes, if he does come to Man United, we can slowly nurture him into the team, if you know what I mean. If we got Anderson and that, this is why Man United need about 3 midfielders. For me, my key would be like 2 experienced, more experienced. I'm not saying like 30-year-olds, but 2 experienced, an Anderson or Walton. And then you bring in someone like Boadi as someone you can nurture and someone you can slowly bring into the team. Do you know what I mean? As well. And then you have the Mainu as well there, guys. And then all of a sudden, our squad is looking a lot more better and a lot more stronger, isn't it? At the end of the day, guys, I would say. So, yeah, that's something that we could look at. I mean, obviously, Ayoub Boadi is a very, very talented player. And I think we should get him before anyone else does. I really do. If we're serious about progressing as a football club, we need to look at these players like him and we need to go after them and not beat around the bush, if you know what I mean, of course, guys. Absolutely. But as I said, Boadi is another player that has been linked to Man United a while, of course, guys. Now, a little bit of news in regards to going on about Carlos Baleba, of course, guys. Over the last 12 hours, Manchester United want to sign Carlos Baleba from Brew at Brighton during the summer transfer window. According to Team Talk, they are prepared to break their transfer record by completing a 100 million move for the player. The report also claims that Carlos Baleba is receptive to the prospect of playing for Manchester United. Now, I know that Carlos Baleba is desperate to go to Manchester United. I know that. I know about his entourage and his agents and stuff like that. Carlos Baleba is desperate to come to Manchester United. Of course he would be. Who wouldn't be at the end of the day? You're playing for Brighton. I personally believe, right, this would be a mistake. And I'll tell you why. Because the price. The price is too much. 100 million for Baleba is an absolute robbery in regards to what Brighton are doing to us, right? Baleba is a 40, 50 million euro player. That's what he is right now. As we stand right now, what makes Baleba a 100 million euro player? Now, take it with a pinch of salt. Obviously, there are rumors over the last week that Baleba's valued 40% less and his price is about 65 to 75. So you could probably do a deal for 65 plus 10 million incentives. That is generally okay. Even though that's pushing it, he's not as good as Walton. He's not as good as Anderson. I'm telling you right now, right at this moment, those two players will be more effective for Man United. He's a good player and will do well at Man United. And I'm confident he would. But he's not a 100 million euro player. This is a joke. I am more on the belief, this is from Team Talk. It depends how you feel about Team Talk. But I'm hearing from reliable sources that Carlos Baleba price tag has gone down for 40%. So he's going to be valued 65 to 75 billion. So Man United do a deal for 65 to 75 billion. I've always spoke about Baleba and always said that he is going to be a Man United player. I've always said that. I've never turned from that. I just think the noises surrounding Baleba, the fact that no one else is after him, just means that I think he's going to end up going to Man United. And you know what? We've been speaking about Baleba so much, he might as well just sign for bloody Man United. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, because I don't want it being a scenario where we're just signing Baleba because it's easy. That's it. You know, we need to look at players that are not as easy to get, to acquire, players that are performing, which is very important, guys, right? Now, Baleba, for me, I don't think is even as good as Kobbie Mainoo. I think Kobbie Mainoo is a better player, all round, better technically, I think. And will Baleba play as a number 6? He's not generally a number 6, is he? He's more of a number 8 kind of thing going forward. So Man United need that number 6, don't they? They do need that. But again, if he does sign for Man United, best of luck to him and we'll support him. But obviously, Man United do need to think cleverly and obviously much more maturely in regards to players that we are going after, of course, guys. So a number of names being linked, of course, but all this, guys, is going to be in the summer. This is not going to be this window. As I've said, I reiterate, the only deal that Man United could possibly do, even that is like 50-50, even 40-60, is Wilfred Ndidi on Monday, which is the transfer deadline. That's it. You know what I mean? At the end, I can't see Man United doing any more deals other than Wilfred Ndidi coming in the midfield. Even then, right now, I'm thinking it's looking unlikely. We've got, nothing is coming out of Man United at the moment. Are we making moves? Are we talking to Wilfred Ndidi and stuff like that? Wilfred Ndidi wants to come to Man United, has agreed to come to Manchester United. But are Manchester United making the actual move? Are they moving forward with it? Are they going for it? We have to get this deal done by Monday, of course, I'm looking at other teams around the Premier League and other teams are improving, And this brings me on to the protest tomorrow. And this is exactly why we've got the protest. What I'm talking about now is the protest because obviously the players that have been linked to Man United, a lot of these players should be in the club now. A lot of these players should be at Man United right now. A Baleba, for example, should be at Man United in the summer, last summer. A lot of people got played last season. They got played. The protest cancelled because we thought we're going to get signed Baleba. A lot of people who were forthwith with the protest were being abused and things like that. This is what we're talking about. People buying the new Man United shirt, the new jacket and stuff like that. They want the Glazers out when it's popular. They want Ineos out when it's popular. But we get a new jacket. We get a new shirt. Oh, I'm going to buy that. Look at that. I look at that. It's lovely. Post it on Instagram. Post it on Twitter. These guys are fools. They are. They're fools. Yeah, at the end of the day, because they're played like a violin, guys. That's what they are. They're being played at the end of the day. And we need to, if we're going to get the Glazers out and get Ineos out, we need to hit their pockets. If we're going out there getting excited by new jerseys and new jackets, and like I said, I've had one shirt in the last, 15 years, 20 years? You know what I mean? And that's what I'm talking about, And even though I've looked at some of the jerseys, I looked at the jackets, I looked at the new jersey and stuff like that, and I thought, wow, they're beautiful. Wow, what a jersey that is. It's lovely. Look, I would love to have that. I thought, nah, I'm not going to flip-flop. I can get it, but I'm not going to flip-flop. I'm not going to contradict myself and be a hypocrite. I'm not going to buy it because the Glazers and Ineos want me to buy it. Because that's exactly what they do. Protests coming, transfer rumors coming as soon as a protest is around. and that's what happens with that, and it's so frustrating because you can see what they do. You can read them like a book. Now, I urge everyone to keep the same energy, keep tweeting, even though you think it's not enough, even though you think what you're doing, it doesn't make a difference. It does. It does. Ineos and the Glazers, they look at the tweets, they look at the social media, they look at the algorithms every single day. They check it every single day, and they'll see your tweet, and they'll see the algorithms, and they'll see everything that like against them and stuff like that. So we got to keep the pressure on them. Jim Ratcliffe said if he gets as much pressure as the Glazers, he'll leave. And there you go. A lot of the Man United fans are just more interested in going to their season tickets. That's all they care about. Their day out at Old Trafford, their beer, a lot of them care, but that's what they care about. They don't care about the actual club. They think, oh, we're good. We just keep it. I just want to go to the game. I want to enjoy the game. They're not really interested like that. Like, they're not ultra interested. If you think about Inter Milan, you think about AC Milan, you think about Real Madrid and Barcelona and that. They have ultras. You're right, ultras who are aggressive against their ownership. There was an Inter Milan game a couple of years ago where the ownership actually went on the pitch at full time, went to behind the goal, answering to the Inter Milan fans. What's going on? What the F is going on? Why, what's going on with this? What's this? What's that? And they had to answer. And Man United, we're too busy, taking pictures with Fred the Red and things like that. We got to be more aggressive. We got to be more intimidating. We got to be more serious as a football club. Now, tomorrow, of course, the 1958 are doing the protest before the Fulham game. And I want every single one of us to support it, because at the end of the day, they're doing something, that's the most important thing. I know that a lot of the 1958 crew, they're going to get a lot of abuse. They will get, but we got to support them, because at the end of the day, they're doing something right, and they're doing something which is good for this football club, which is getting the ownership and putting pressure on the ownership, which we have to do. If we're just accepting, we're going to get taken for a ride, guys. These billionaires don't care about Manchester United. They don't care about Man United. They don't care about our success on the field. All they care about is the vanity project. I've said it 100 million times. We need to support them, and we need to make sure that every single one of these platforms who consistently behind them, which I will be, of course, guys, absolutely. And let's hopefully we do that, of course, guys. Guys, thank you, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Let me just read out some of your comments. Big up the community. Hope everyone is good and having a splendid Saturday so far. I hope everyone is having a splendid Saturday so far. Big up everyone in the house, of course. Let me say just good morning to Black Sheep. Thank you so much for your super chat, my friend. You're absolute legend. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Thank you for supporting the channel. You're absolute legend. Really appreciate you. Yeah, look, guys, we've got Fulham tomorrow. Of course, we're excited about the game, but we also have to think about the protest as well. Before the game, there's going to be a massive protest. It's going to be 5,000 to 6,000 Manchester United fans protesting tomorrow before the game. There should be 40, 50. To be honest with you, there's going to be 77,000 at the ground. So why don't I know? You know what I mean? Just a fraction of that would be nice and stuff like that, isn't it? At the end of the day, but yeah, there's going to be about 5,000 to 6,000 protesters protesting for the Man United before the Man United Fulham game tomorrow. Of course, guys. So very, very, very eager to see what goes on with that. Of course, hopefully it makes an impact, and best of luck to every single one of them, and fair play. Unfortunately, I'm in the UAE. I would love to be there. I would love to be at a protest, of course. But I will be supporting for my platform, and I'll be doing my best, as I have been doing every single day. I have not forgotten about it. I have never mentioned Ineos and the Glazers on my streams. I don't just mention Ineos and the Glazers because it's a popular thing, because it's going viral. I don't just do that. I mention it every single day. Every single day. I'm serious about it. Some people, they pretend they're serious about it, but they're not actually serious about making a change and making a difference at Manchester United. Of course, guys. Absolutely. Big up everyone. Big up Coco. Good morning. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up Kenny, the legend. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Smash the likes, guys. Don't forget to smash the like. Good morning. Very good to see you, Rajat. Hope you're doing well. Big up, my friend. My friend. What's going on? Strange and goated. What's going on, mate? Hope you're doing well. Getting a run in the lake. Was it Elsinore, California, 11 p.m. Big up, Sal. Let's go and get it. You're running at 11 p.m. Is that California, is it? Well, that's not bad, mate. Congrats. Well done, mate. Well done. Absolutely brilliant. Good on you, mate. Good on you. Keep running. I've got a treadmill now. I used to run in the UAE. Obviously, I used to run in the 40 degrees and stuff like that. Now, luckily, I've got a treadmill and stuff like that, of course. Nico Paz mentioned him various times on this channel, of course. He's a fantastic player, co-owned by Real Madrid, though. Absolutely. Perfect timing. If he wants Champions League, he can fight for it with Manchester United. Absolutely. Gregory, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. I'm worried about the rest of the season. Next season can take care of itself. United needs to add a midfielder today. It would be great, Gregory, if that happened. It definitely would be amazing. It would help Michael Carrick. It would. You know, I don't think they're thinking about that. This is what really baffles me in regards to the way that we're doing business at the moment. Is like sweeping this window under the carpet is disgraceful. It's incompetence of the highest order. Because at the end of the day, you know, I look at the AFCON, right? I look at the AFCON. Now, we drew a couple of games, lost a game in the AFCON, right? Whilst the AFCON was going on. We might have won or drawn those games, right? If we had Embremo, if we had Cunha, right? But we didn't. The AFCON was going on, so fair play. It was a fantastic tournament. It went ahead. But one thing is, why didn't Ineos prepare for that? They did not prepare for the AFCON. So when we lost Embremo, when we lost Ahmad, when we lost Nus, when we lost these players, we had no replacements. We were moving players all around the pitch. This is why when people talk about, you know, the fine margins of football and stuff like that, and we spoke about it before, that, you know what, when we get to Aston Villa game and stuff like that, we're going to struggle because, you know what, we're not going to have Embremo and Cunha, and Ahmad and Mazza, you know, at the end of the day, guys. You know, so, and as we've seen from the Arsenal game, how important Cunha, how important Embremo, how important Ahmad is for this team, you know, at the end of the day. And it's incompetence of the highest order that to this day, we still haven't gone out there and thought about the team and thought about the Champions League. We're in a Champions League position. How are we going to solidify this Champions League position? How are we going to pull away from the rest? For example, Liverpool playing Newcastle. So there could be a result there against Liverpool. Can we pull away? Can we go further ahead to give ourselves some breathing space? A midfielder, just one, we're not asking for the world, would have been a fantastic signing. You know, even an attacking player would have been a fantastic signing, you know, but they seem to know better than everyone else, don't they, at the end of the day? They seem to think they know better than all the Man United fans and stuff like that at the end of the day, guys. Samuel, the Glazers and Ineos should be working in a kindergarten. Exactly. That's being kind. That's being harsh to the kindergarten, of course, guys. Gregory, I believe is 6'1", 18-year-old Moroccan midfielder who has already had 50 appearances for Lille. Yes, he's French, though. He's French, I believe. He plays for France, I believe. He's had 50 appearances around that for Lille, yeah. Very good player. Very, very good player. This is why he's valued about 60 million at the moment. He's valued at a lot of money because he's got that little bit of experience. Big up, Garrett. What's going on? Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Big up. I hope you're well. Good to see you. Good to be live with you, of course. Good to see you as well. Garrett, Sal, I hope these players keep their heads down and get us Champions League. That's the most important thing, Garrett. Exactly what you said there, because, you know, on the footballing side, we've seen this before. We've had so many false dawns when it comes to Manchester United. I said it yesterday on another channel. I did say that we've beaten Arsenal twice, FA Cup and in the league this season. We've beaten Man City twice. We've beaten Newcastle. We've beaten Chelsea. We've done this for many, many years. Right. And it's the problem is that when we play the West Broms, when we play the Wolves, when we play the West Hams, when we play the Bournemouths, these are the teams that we generally struggle against. And I really do hope that, you know, we put our head down and we win the game tomorrow, because this is a game that is the narrative game for me. It's the narrative game. The other games were difficult games, big games, massive games. But I was always looking at Fulham, West Ham in particular, by the way, guys, because the thing with West Ham, we haven't won at the London Stadium in Stratford for how long now? 5 years? Am I wrong? Something like that. All I can remember is Ibrahimovic scoring a goal. That's all I can remember about that game. And yeah, we haven't won there. For example, Tottenham. We haven't done well Tottenham. Are we going to beat Tottenham this time? Is it this time we're going to beat Tottenham? Newcastle away. We haven't beaten Newcastle away since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Are we going to beat Newcastle away? You know, these are the games that I'm looking at, which I think, because we've done the Man Cities. We won at Etihad last season. We beat Arsenal with 10 men last season at the Emirates. I knew that we are capable of beating these teams because we're not expected to beat these teams. And all the media and the limelight is on that game. I want to see it when we play Fulham, when it's not live, it's not over, it's not on all around the world, not millions and millions of people are going to be watching it. I want to see what we do with the Fulham game. I want to see how we play. I want to see if we take that game as seriously and we are able to, guys. Raja, no, Belaba has great potential, but currently, as it stands, definitely not Wharton level, not Anderson level either. No, not at all. 60 million more points, 60 or more points in the EPL. Yes, of course. Sal, I believe Belaba is going to be a good player for us. It depends. It's hindsight, mate. It's hypothetical. Not hypothetical. How do I say it? It's like if buts and maybes. If I had wheels, I'd be a bike. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if Man United can't deal with ifs at the moment, Man United really do need near guarantees and stuff that, if I'm being honest. Gregory, 60 or more points in the EPL should help us make it into top 4 in Champions League. Yeah, this season, Gregory, it's going to be a lot more less points, isn't it? There's not going to be quite as many points as needed from previous seasons. Of course, it is a very poor Premier League, in my opinion. And I think Man United got a big opportunity. I think Man United win against Fulham and Newcastle managed to get a result against Liverpool. Man United move away here. Man United move away slightly. Just let's not forget that the top 5 are most likely to be the Champions League positions in the Premier League this season. So it's going to be very interesting. My biggest question is this. Who's not in the Champions League at the moment? Let's say Spurs. Look, guys, let's get, for argument's sake, right? Let's say Spurs win the Champions League. I know it's never going to happen. What happens? What happens? Do 6 teams qualify for the Champions League in England? There's a lot of uproar at the moment from Europe major leagues saying that it's not unfair that England gets so many spaces. So you've got to perform in the Champions League. England have got 5 out of 6 teams out of the 8. 5 out of the 8 teams are English in the Champions League qualification. They got 5 out of the 8. Newcastle in the playoffs. You know? Big up, Gems. What's going on? Long time no see. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Morning, Sal. Good morning. Very cautious over play, but you have to be, Gems. You have to be. You can't... Look, guys, we're all adults here. Most of us, anyway. We're all adults here. And we have to call things as they are objectively, not because he's our favorite player. Look, as I said many, many times, I'm a big fan of Carlos Belaba, but I'm looking at things based on the Manchester United thing, right? I believe in Belaba. I believe Belaba is going to come good. You know, I believe in it. I believe he's got ability, right? But you're only as good in football as your last game. And in this case, as his last season. The whole season, he's been poor. So you have to look at that. He's been cooked off the pitch. How many times this season? You have to look at that and you have to be objective in football because at the end of the day, we spend some people going up to 100 million euros, guys. We spend that money. That could have went on Anderson and a Keith Schmidt and Angelo Stiller. You know what I mean? That could have bought us 2 midfielders. That could have bought us an Anderson. That could have bought us a Keith Schmidt, a Stiller for a little bit more. What's more profit? What's more better for Man United? And we have to look at things from that objective point of view, of course. Big up, everyone. Big up, everyone. Sorry, I've gone right the way down. Let me just put this back up. Big up, Lonan. I'm a tired Liverpool fan, says Lonan. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Welcome. Every single team every team rival fan is welcome in this stream, guys. Absolutely. Welcome to the Liverpool fans and stuff like that. Absolutely. Big up yourself. Hope you're well. Dabizas, the thing about Belaba I like about is his desire to play for United. Regardless, it doesn't matter. I desire to play for Man United. That could have two meanings, Dabizas. That could mean desperation. You know, most teams in Europe most players in Europe would love to play for Man United. You know, I could give you a lot of players that want Man United. The reason he wants to play for Man United is because no one else wants him, Dabizas. You know, that's the thing. No one else wants him at this present moment in time. On Goldbridge channel, big up Goldbridge, big up Mark, of course. Big up everyone, of course, in the stream. Big up, got you, Lonan. Is there another Liverpool fan in there? How many Liverpool fans have been outnumbered? Zach is out back in 58. Back the 58, back the 58, back the 1958. Have to do it because at the end of the day, who else is doing anything? And we have to look at that and we have to respect it and we have to say that they got my full support. Absolutely got my full support. Definitely. I've been mentioning the protests and I've been mentioning obviously Ineos and the Glazers for a while now. Sometimes it's upset people. Sometimes people will throw their rattles out their pram because there's a lot of people who still support Ineos, you know, and they've outed themselves with that. And a lot of them are very defensive in regards to trying to change their opinion about them, even though they know they're failing. And we have to say that, guys. It's open. We could say that Ineos are failing. You know, at this football club, they are out of their depth. They can't bring Man United back to where we should be. They think that this is the 1930s. You don't need to sign any players for Man United. Man United have got heritage and DNA and all that. It doesn't work like that. It's not like the 90s either. Guys, I'll give you an example, right? If it was the 1990s, right, and there was a team that came in, right? Let's say Blackburn at the time. Blackburn spent a lot of money at the time for that standards, right? But let's say a team came to the Premier League and they went and bought Robbie Fowler, David Ginola, Jurgen Klinsmann, you know, and in the Premier League, Alan Shearer, which Blackburn had, but anyway. But, you know, let's say they bought the best players in the Premier League at that time. You know what I mean? Tony Adams and Dennis Bergkamp and that. It will be very difficult even for Man United to compete. And now it's even worse because every single team has got money now, more or less, has got money and they can spend money, you know. And for Man United to get back to where we should be, this is not, as I said, this is not 20, 30, 40 years ago. Most teams have got good players as well. It's not like we got a superior team. You can't just get by on vibes and DNA. You can't. You've got to spend money. You've got to spend money. You know, back in my day, these things now, you know, it's different now. Like every team could say, like, you know, as I said, players from Bayer Leverkusen could go to Sunderland, you know, and things like that. So yeah, we need to spend money, and we've not spent money this window so far, which is a disgrace. And especially the fact that the World Cup is on at the end of the season, we're not going to have much time to negotiate transfers and maneuver. So it's this disgrace and it's incompetence of the highest order. And I think we should hold them accountable. And good luck to the 1958. Good luck to them, obviously. And hopefully we make a noise and we send a message out there. You know, my one big wish, my one big message, should I say, in regards to 1958, don't be swayed by media, propaganda, PR, because there will be noises around Man United about transfers. There will be noises about we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I don't care about a stadium. I'll be honest, guys. I don't give a damn about a stadium. What I care about is Man United being successful on the pitch and organically getting our own stadium, or better still, refurbishing Old Trafford, which will be a lot better anyway. It's our heritage, it's our home ground, you know? Just like Real Madrid have done. They refurbished their stadium in the middle of Madrid, you know, so why can't we? You know, at the end of the day. So, yeah, look, you know, back them and keep the pressure on them. Absolutely. Big up, Gems. Dab is asked, Anderson should prefer United over City because if you get Champions League spots option, it would be open where it could be. He would prefer Man United. Man United in the Champions League are one of the most attractive propositions in Europe. Let's not forget. A lot of people don't understand how big Man United are. They want to reassure themselves that Man United are not big. So they'll say that, you know, because, look, guys, I say it like this. You got Champions League games at the Etihad that can't sell out, right? Champions League games. You know, Man United would sell out a league Carabao Cup fourth round tie against bloody Stoke. They'll sell out 77,000. It wouldn't be 30,000 at the Etihad. That's the difference. So Man United need that Champions League. And when we're in the Champions League, Man United are a very, very attractive proposition for any player because they know the level of Man United. Man United are the pioneers of English football in regards to Champions League, by the way. People forget that. People don't want to mention that. You know, Manchester United are Manchester. If you go to Manchester and you don't visit Old Trafford, you don't know What is Manchester? The Etihad Stadium is a Commonwealth stadium given to them by the government, right? Manchester United is a cultural heritage, which is given so much to the country in regards to economy and stuff like that. Proper. Without Man United, there's no Man City. Let me tell you that right now. If we remove from the Premier League, right? So it's very important Man United qualify the champion, get back to where we belong. Get back to where we belong. But getting in the Champions League doesn't mean that we end it there. It doesn't mean that we end it there. Getting back in the Champions League means invest and competing in the Champions League. Competing. Getting into the latter stages of the Champions League, semi-finals and the finals, like we used to, consistently, you know? And that's what we need to do again. Absolutely. Big up everyone. Big up everyone in the stream. Darn typos. Big up Gregory. Big up Ephraim. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're good. Good to see you, guy. Big up everyone. Gregory. Sal, is there any chance we won't be annoyed as fans by referee John Brooks on Sunday during the game against Fulham at Old Trafford? I hope not, Gregory, because I don't really like mentioning referees. I don't like using referees as an excuse, because at the end of the day, that's what people say, isn't it? It's an excuse. Stop using the referees as an excuse. But there's no doubt that we have had the bad luck in regards to refereeing decisions. I've got a repertoire of decisions that have gone against Man United over this last few years. Lots of decisions that are very, very questionable and been contradicted weeks after. I really do wish Brooks a good game, and I wish him a fair game. That's all we want at the end of the day. However, what I would say, Gregory, is that Man United need to play Fulham. Fulham are a good team. Defensively, they're a good team. Man United need to perform against Fulham and make sure we beat them and beat them well. That's what we need to do. Look after ourselves. Not worry too much about referees and stuff like that. Look after ourselves. Play positive football. Get that ball forward. And there's nothing they can do. They can't screw Man United out of resolve. Man United dominate the game and win well. They can't screw Man United out of a penalty decision or a free kick here and there. We won't need to worry about that. Just like we didn't need to worry about that in the 90s. Even though the referees were against Man United at that time, people would forget that. But the fact that Man United used to play such positive football. Guys, I'll give you an example, right? There was, I used to be front row behind the goal on the post, on the right-hand post, right? Stretford end on my season ticket, right? And I used to see a lot of players running at full pelt, right? Close up. And they used to get a little nick on the leg or something, and it'll make them fall down. And this goes to show you something, and a penalty wasn't given, or it was given, right? But this goes to show you that the more positive football you play, the more likely you are to get refereeing decisions. And that's what it is, because you'll get a click, you get that, you know, you're going forward, you get fouled. Eventually you have to give a penalty. You can't keep getting fouled, you know, and that's what happened with Man United during the heyday of old Alex Ferguson. You know, we used to get fouled, no foul, foul, no foul, foul, no foul, foul. I have to give it now, penalty. It used to be like that. People don't understand that. People don't understand. Like, well, I've been in front row in the Stretford end watching this. Do you know what I mean? And seeing this, Cristiano Ronaldo and Ryan Giggs and players of that ilk. You know what I mean? Andre Kanchelskis at some point as well. So I've seen this. You know what I mean? So what Man United need to do, we need to look after ourselves against Fulham, look after ourselves against West Ham, and so on. And just don't worry about the referee and just keep going forward, pressing relentlessly. Put them under pressure. And the referee can't do nothing. Even the referee won't be able to do nothing, even if he wants Fulham to get a result. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Absolutely. Big up, Ephraim. Big up, Sal. Yesterday, our show in Mo channel was great. You are a great representative of United. Thank you so much, Ephraim. I try my best. There's not many people on that channel like Man United. I mean, openly, that's fair enough. Not everyone, it's a democracy. We don't have to like what other people like, of course. But I will defend Man United to the best of my ability. You know, obviously, there's a lot of hatred within Man United. It's very difficult to speak facts about Man United because they don't like Man United. And if I go on and say that Man United are a bigger club than Man City, which they are, or a bigger club than Arsenal, people get angry and they get frustrated and angry because they don't like Man United. For some reason, even though Man United built the Premier League and the Premier League wouldn't be what it is right now if it wasn't for Man United. Let me tell you that right now. There'd be no foreign investors in the Premier League if it wasn't for Man United. Because Man United, and to some extent Arsenal, who created a rivalry, but Man United in particular, created attraction to the Premier League. And that's what they don't understand. They think it just suddenly, the Premier League became from a hooliganism Margaret Thatcher, the Prime Minister of England, was saying football should be cancelled in England at that time, before Man United, right? She was saying football should be cancelled. It's full of hooligans, it's full of fighting, it's full of drunk alcoholics. That's what she was saying, Margaret Thatcher, until Manchester United came around. Until Manchester United, with the Cantonars, with the Beckhams, with the Giggs, with the Scholes, with the Brian Robsons, changed the scope and changed the identity of English football, right? So if anyone wants to talk about English football, you can't talk about English football and how big English football and how attractive English football and how successful English football is without mentioning Manchester United, because we are the ones that put it back on the map. And this is recent history as well, by the way. This is not hundreds of years ago. This is like going all the way up until 2008. 2008 team still better than any Premier League team that there's ever been. And the 99 team. I haven't seen one team better than the 99 team. I haven't seen one big team better than the 2008 team. I haven't seen one team better than the 94 team. And I'll tell you what, every single one of those teams will defeat the teams today convincingly. That Arsenal team, comparing to the 2008 team, the 2008 team would defeat that team 5-6-0. Easy. Guys, just correct this fool right here. He says that I trusted Ratcliffe and believed in Ineos, the idiot, right? At the end of the day, you are a prat, mate. Luke Skywalker, you're a prat. You don't know nothing about this football club. You know nothing about this football club. You're an idiot. You're a fool. You're a waste man. You got to do your research when you talk to me. I've created movements in regards to Ineos out and the Glazers out, by the way. Ruben Amram got a 4 out of 10 window. Let's forget about Ruben Amram because you're probably jealous of Ruben Amram. But let's forget about him for a second. Ruben Amram got a 4 out of 10 window. Ruben Amram called out the ownership. Ruben Amram done something that a lot of those people haven't done. A lot of those managers haven't done. You're an idiot, mate. You're supporting my football club. Get lost, right? You don't know my name, so there's no point talking about my name, you idiot. Guys, we at the Football Terrace are watching you. You are not on the Football Terrace. I've been on the Football Terrace 3 times, mate, at the end of the day. And I back Carrick because I've actually seen Carrick play, mate. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So listen, get off this, you absolute idiot, idiotic fool. That's what you are. And I'm moving on from you. Goodbye. Big up. Chris, what's going on? Good morning, Reds. He's an idiot, mate. Leave him. He's got no life, mate. We at the Football Terrace. Let me ask Terry. He follows me. Let me ask Terry. We at the Football Terrace. Idiots. Luke Skywalker, man, to be honest, stop trolling. Idiot. I hate thinking like it's easy. I hate thinking like, oh, it's easy now. Never is. Big up, Chris. Big up, SLD. What's going on? I'm the only allowed to troll Sal. Smash the lights. He's not trolling. He's been a prat. He's going to be blocked. Raja, could Baleba have passing range that's similar to Camavinga or Tumor? If buts and maybes, maybe. Jealousy, I could say that. Jealousy at the end of the day. Luke Skywalker, weird joke, please. Mate, one more, Luke. You're God, mate. You know, it's very easy just for me to block and never see you again and never worry about you again, mate. Probably a bit like your family. Dabizas, as far as I remember, Sal never stopped criticizing the owners and also called on Ruben tactic blunders many times. Yeah. But it's not just about, it's about being backed as well, isn't it? You watch when Carrick has a couple of bad results, guys. You watch these prats start turning against Carrick as well because they don't understand what the real problems is upstairs, right? Watch what's going to happen. A couple of bad results, you're going to see everyone turning against Carrick. The same old. And they're going to be defending Ineos, just like they are indirectly defending Ineos. That's what they do. Oh, they didn't have a 4 out of 10 window. You know what I mean? Absolute idiots. Sal, for argument's sake, what will happen in the summer with players in and out if we don't get a European spot? It's going to be, I think Bruno will leave. I think Bruno doesn't want another project. This is what I'm hearing. He's definitely going to go. If we get the Champions League, I think Bruno will stay. I think he should stay another season, especially as a number 10. I think that a lot of players will look at moving on. I do think so. But Man United won't do as much business. It'll be similar to the business this window. 3 or 4 players, maybe if we're lucky 4, but about 3 players coming in, of course. Bernard, morning, Sal. As much as I want Luis Enrique, to get the job. Why do I have a bad feeling that they've already offered Carrick the role, hoping for a Let's wait and see, mate. I don't know. Let's see how Carrick does until the end of the season. If Carrick gets in the Champions League, I think they're going to give him a job anyway. If he gets in the Champions League, it's going to be very difficult for them not to give him a job. It does depend. They're the ones who get to make the big decisions. They're the ones who get paid the big bucks to make the big decisions, isn't it, at the end of the day? Guys, absolutely. Chapati, Luke Skywalker, you're blocked, mate. Now, sorry, mate, but you're gone. Goodbye and good riddance, mate. Right. Big up Bernard, by the way. Big up Luke. James, is your leg back to normal? Oh, I don't know. Sorry, I'm getting involved in your conversation there. Big up. Do a Rashford, Luis Enrique swap dab his house. That's a good one. That's a good one. Absolutely, with PSG. The PSG are interested in Marcus Rashford, by the way. There are a number of clubs who are interested in Marcus Rashford. Guys, there are. Believe it or not, guys. There are a few clubs that are interested in Marcus Rashford. As far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm aware, Atletico Madrid, Spurs, Chelsea, Juventus, Milan, PSG, and Barcelona are interested in Marcus Rashford at the moment. They're interested in Marcus Rashford. I don't know who he is. That's the purpose of his allies. Big up Gregory. It's not the real one. It's a troll. I've got a good idea who it is, though. Who is it, James? Let me know so I can know who it is, guys. Morning, Marcus. How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. I think that people look at football very simplistically. And some of them have big platforms as well. They look at football very simplistically. They look at things from a result sort of thing like this. Even though we're 3 points from fourth before Ruben Amorim was sacked, right? And they're moving the goalpost. There's a lot of jealousy around Ruben Amorim because obviously they have to get their hair transplants and their teeth done and all that. And, you know, they're jealous of him. Probably their wife fancies him or say, I don't know. That's speculation. But what I would say is this, right? We have not addressed the biggest issue at Manchester United. The biggest issue at Manchester United is the board and Ineos. Because regardless of what we think of Ruben Amorim was the wrong choice. It might have been the right choice at the wrong time, maybe in the future, but it was the wrong choice at that moment. Because if they were not interested in backing Ruben Amorim at that time, what's the point in getting Ruben Amorim? They should have just got a manager in there who they can handle and they can act as a puppet on the string. You know, and that's the thing. They should have done that in the first place. But I see this very indirect, patronizing backing of the 1958. There's some people there in big platforms who don't really back it like I do every single day. And the thing is, at the end of the day, I call out mistakes from everyone, you know, and I will call things as they are. I will not sugarcoat things on this channel. Absolutely not. Simply, I use my actual name and some numbers that were assigned by YouTube several years ago. I have nothing to hide. Big up, Gregory. Dang, foot was injured. Hope is okay. Big up, everyone. Coco, crazy how you talk about DNA and want to destroy Old Trafford when the DNA they cry about was born. It can definitely be upgraded. Exactly that, mate. Exactly that. Anderson 08, I remember him very well, mate. Underrated, in my opinion. Sorry, but I think he was underrated. Absolutely. Guys, SLD, I never like to use a reference excuse. We play for nightmares more than enough time to win games. It depends. Tight games is different, though. When the games are very tight, you need sometimes the right decision. That's what I would say. Sal, Garrett, listening to you, my brother, then why do they want to demolish Old Trafford? I know. They don't care about the Man United. They care about a vanity project. They care about a vanity project. SLD Ty is welcome on this channel any day on the week. He's welcome to have a debate with me. Invisible, 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 invisible. Needs Sport Bible Sal appearances versus some Liverpool or Man City fan debates video all day long, mate. I do it every day anyway on Mo's channel and stuff. I think I hold my own pretty well, to be honest, generally on my own. Anderson, our midfielder who fell out of favour at Old Trafford, Van Gaal, he was with United for 8 seasons. He was not bad, mate. What I like to remember, Gregory, about Anderson is the European Cup final, Champions League final 2008. He played well in that final, by the way. People forget that. You know, he stepped up for a penalty. He buried the penalty as well. You know? He buried the penalty as well. He's gone, mate. Anyway, he's gone. Big up. Gregory, it's too bad there are no moderators in here. It's all right. I ain't got enough here to get moderators. Damn, Wayne Rooney, Tevez, and Cristiano Ronaldo will feast on him. Absolutely. James, Terry wouldn't condone. Terry, I know Terry, known Terry for a long time. Terry went to the same school as me, Jem. We had the same teacher. We lived around the corner from each other in East London. Ask him. Terry's fine. Terry, what I like, we don't always have to agree. But what I like about Terry is that it's a debate. I'm not the oracle of football, neither is Terry. We have differences of opinion, that's life. Ultimately, we are on the same boat. We want success for Manchester United. That's what we want. That's what we want, ultimately. You know, we want success for our football club. I've been on a football terrace. I first went on a football terrace seven years ago. 7 years ago. And I've known him for a long time, you know, and people want to use his name to slander him or demolish his character. I don't know, but idiots. I got time for him. I understand that none of these words just now, last comment. Yeah. Luke, so weak-minded to be rattled by the other's opinions, just don't be here. Exactly. Well, he's rattled by ball knowledge. That's what he's rattled by. Yeah. Pause. I don't know who it is. Greg, I can type now. Whatever you said was contagious. Big up. Luke is probably a plastic Man City supporter. We say he's using that. He's using football terrace. I think Luke is Lumen, my Spidey not so. Oh, Lumen. Yeah, that waste man who's got different identities. Yeah, I know him. Don't worry about that. I know everyone. I'm up to the game. There's a certain someone with many different accounts trying to impersonate one of the football terrace mods. I don't know who it is. And I blocked him on many accounts on many different channels. He's what a waste man. You know what, James? Some people got so much time on their hands. I can't believe how much time they got on their hands this Saturday. You know? Oh, my goodness me. Lumen's a prat, mate. An absolute prat. Waste man. He's gone anyway. He's blocked. Luke Skywalker had a big dose of Jedi mind tricks gone wrong doing this morning. He's gone wrong, mate. He's gone wrong. I could have went in on him much, much harder. You know, no one cares who he is. No one wants to know who he is. At the end of the day, he's getting mentioned more times than his mother today. So he's lucky. He should be saying thankful. You know what I mean? His mother denies him anyway. No future deals with Barcelona. They never pay, Dabizas. They're broke. They're stingy. They're frauds. Absolutely. I don't think Barcelona will buy Rashi, or they want to pay much less. They want to pay SLD. They want to pay 26 million for Marcus Rashford. What a frauds. I'm telling you right now, they are absolute frauds and embarrassment. How can they come out and say that nonsense? I mean, at the end of the day. On Terry's channel, he'd be blocked. He's blocked, mate. I've been on Terry's channel a number of times. Barcelona, I like get on a car on loan and then tell the bank to come and repo car away. Yes, exactly that, Dab, is that. Say what you want, but at least Ineos have a plan of improving one line per summer. What line? On the table? Where's the lines? If you know, you know. Metal, hi Sal. I'm really concerned about the Lick's injury issues. Do you think it could become a possible long term? You know, funny you should say this, Metal. I spoke to a Bayern Munich fan before Matthias de Ligt signed for Manchester United, and he was warning me not only about de Ligt but Mazza as well, Mazruri. He was warning me, saying that they're both very injury prone. He said, you know, they're okay for a few weeks and months, but then suddenly they'll get a long-term injury. And this is what I'm concerned about. Well, honestly, I really hope that this is not the case. And I really hope that, yeah, you know what I mean? It's not. Hopefully he's back soon before the end of the season as well. We got enough injury problems. At some point, there'll be self-delete. Yeah. Injuries pay thingy, of course. Raja. It will be Tottenham Hotspur 2.0. Make newer, cool-looking stadium and a hike tickets price and bully fans to pay more to watch. Absolutely. Sal, great stream. Have a great day. Have a great day, mate. I'll keep this by Ephraim. Put your notifications on. I might do one. I might do the Arsenal game. I'm waiting and see, of course. Doing ain't much along. I'll try, Marcus. Keep your notifications on. I will try, of course. Gregory, Someone told me that there are only 580,000 people who live in Manchester and 500,000 who live in Liverpool. I thought Manchester had 2.5 million population and Liverpool was over 1 million. I don't know, mate. Don't tell me. I don't know, bruv. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the exact numbers. I don't want to speculate, of course, what the actual number is. He used to troll Sal about Bjarni and does chapati face. Even me, he's an idiot. I don't care, mate. I'm not a child, mate. You know what I mean? I don't do Bjarnis and chapati faces and things like that or whatever they say, which are ignorance and bigotry. Stupid idiots, mate. At the end of the day, I don't do that sort of shit. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're too old for that, mate. We're too concentrated in serious things. You know what I mean? Here, adult things here, not kiddie things. You know what I mean? SLD. We should cash in on the Xerxes since Cunha and Embuemo can play. I agree with SLD. I think we should. He wants to leave it. I think Juventus are interested in him, Fenerbahce as well. What is the Delict injury? I think it's a back injury, Chris. I think it's a back injury. Don't quote me on that, but I think he's got a back injury. They're keeping it very, very secret at the moment. I don't know why, but Man United are keeping it very, very undercover. We need to know what's going on with Delict. We really do. No one's talking about Delict, because such an important player for Man United. Massive player for Man United. Do you know what I mean? A huge player for Man United. Yeah, that's it, Dabbies. That's back injury. Metal, Sal, I've got a feeling Arsenal are going to bottle it against Leeds today. Leeds are no slouch. Now, look, I was going to talk about it yesterday. When Man United played Leeds last, we actually dominated the game. We had better possession. No, we had better, more of a pressing force about us, more better chances. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And I think that it will be a difficult game for Arsenal. We should have beaten Leeds. I look at that game and I think, yeah, we should have beaten Leeds, but let's wait and see. Probably got a long-term back problem. Yeah, back is a problem, mate. Back is a lower back as well. I live in the other side of Atlantic at Austin, Texas, United. Big up. I've been to Texas, Gregory. Great place. Hospitable people. Been to Houston, Texas. Went to Webster, where the spaceships are and that, to shoot a music video. Funny enough. Love Texas. Big up the Texas. Massive, of course, guys. Absolutely. Big up. Chris. Yeah, I was thinking that someone isn't quite him today, told us on Dorgo. Yeah, I was thinking that the same. It is quiet on him, and they told us on Dorgo's. Absolutely. SLD. So, are we Leeds fans today? Yes, SLD. Yeah. It's very difficult to say, but I can't be a Leeds fan. I'm sorry. I can't. I don't like Leeds. Dirty Leeds. I'll be honest, I prefer Arsenal to win the league than City. Because I don't want City to win the league. I don't want City to win the league, Never want City to win the league. I want Arsenal to win today, and I want them to win. I want them to win the league. I think they deserve to win the league. If City don't win the league, then that'll be 2 years of City not winning the league. We need City down as much as we can. And we need to bring back their old rivalry of Man United and Arsenal next season. Watch this space. Bring back the rivalry between Man United and Arsenal. That's what we need to do. You know what I mean? We never get along historically. Leeds hate everyone in red, by the way. We never get along. There's history between Leeds and Arsenal, by the way. If you know, you know. Turkey and all that. Guys, there is history. Big up LT, what's going on, my friend? Are we doing well? Wonder what Spin Ineos will want to come up with after the March tomorrow, because they can't use a signing to spin exactly as well because they're buying anyone this window. There you go. They're going to do something on Monday. Don't worry about that. Aston Villa to win above City and Arsenal. I would love Aston Villa to win the league. Just can't see it happening. I would love Aston Villa to win the league. I just can't really see them winning it, unfortunately, guys. They were the ones called us Man U. Yeah, that's why we don't call Man United Man U, by the way. Always remember that. Always remember. I never call Man United. Man United, Manchester United, MUFC, something like that. Metal, Nassau, they're already crying about that result. Just imagine if they actually win the league. Nobody would be able to tolerate them. I know, Metal. I know. It's a situation that I never wanted to see again. Unfortunately, we're here and we're having to choose between our thumb or our index finger. Which one we're going to cut off? And that's what it is at the end of the day. Arsenal, if you can deal with the Arsenal fans, and I've dealt with the Arsenal fans before. loads of times. So I don't really mind about Arsenal and stuff, guys. At the end of the day. Lumen, you know what? That's what your mum said to you when she said, give him a chance. I know he looks like a back of a horse, but I'm going to give him a chance. I never said give Ratcliffe a chance. I went on Qatari television against them, mate, at the end of the day. Just get lost out of the stream, mate. You're getting blocked again. Bye. There you go. He's gone. Don't worry. We remember about Leeds fans, Sal, and some things are beyond power. Absolutely. Yeah, he's gone, mate. Don't worry, he's long gone. Aggravate, not aggregate. What's this type of deal? Big up, mate. They going to give Mainu a new contract on Monday. Yeah, new signing, Garrett, innit? Delusion and Arsenal fans are run happily into the sunset, holding hands. Look, at the end of the day, what we have to do as Man United fans, right? We have to look after ourselves. We have to look after ourselves, not worry about the Arsenal fans. Arsenal fans will be Arsenal fans. Even when Arsenal's not successful, they're unbearable. Let them just run off into the sunset. It doesn't matter, as you said. What we have to do is concentrate on ourselves, right? I can't wish good on Man City. I can't. I don't like Man City. I can't wish good on them. I can't wish good on Liverpool, and I can't wish good on Man City. Arsenal are our Premier League rivals, right? In regards to we were fighting with each other. But at least you could say with Arsenal and Man United that Man United and Arsenal built an organic rivalry, which was not purchased. It was an organic rivalry, which changed the Premier League, the face of the Premier League forever. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. Raja, may as well be Arsenal fan. These guys got selective hearing. Yeah. That's what we all wish. We all wish Villa win. You know? It'd be amazing. It would be amazing if Aston Villa won the league. LT, tomorrow is a big test because it's these type of games after good performances against the top sides where we always play crap and drop points and somehow switch off. It's true, LT. Exactly what I've been talking about, mate. Exactly that. SLD, I hope Arsenal keep playing Odegaard. Never seen a captain get subbed off almost every game. What's happened to Odegaard? Sal, will City... I don't know what's happened to Odegaard. There was a lot to talk about Odegaard before. So will City ever be held on violations? No. I'm not holding my breath, Gregory, because the Premier League is fraudulent, and that's what it is. Premier League's fraudulent. There's no trust in the Premier League system to give them that. No, they obviously cheated. But one thing I will say, Gregory, all right? Well done to Man City. Well done to Man City. Let me tell you why well done to Man City. Because they get away with it. Who cares? Who cares? They got away with it. Why are Man United such goody two-shoes? My Little Pony, Care Bears. Why are we like that? Oh, FFP, PSR. Why are we so scared? Bend the bloody rules. It's because they don't want to. Because they don't want us to be successful. That's why. They get away with it, Man City. Fair play to them. They bent the rules. Fair play to them. It makes them successful? It makes them successful, doesn't it, at the end of the day? That's what matters, you know? That's what matters. Doesn't matter, exactly. It doesn't matter. They get away with it. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want, because me, I know about the 115 charges and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, I don't care if Man United had 115 charges. I wouldn't care. I couldn't care less. We're winning league titles, getting the Champions League, winning Champions Leagues. I'm happy. But we wouldn't do it that way, obviously. But if it was Man United, I'll say, well, we got away with it, so screw you. I mean, at the end of the day. Because I just want Man United to look after themselves, and I want Man United to become a successful football team. That's what I want. Do you know what I mean? They would charge us, Ephraim, probably. Probably, yeah. Probably would charge us. We would have been charged by now. Probably playing bloody Birmingham City under the lights on a Tuesday night in the Championship. Probably, you know what I mean? But that's all hearsay. Guys, thank you, everyone. Big up, Raja. FC Barcelona bend the rules. Somehow they sign quality players when they also apparently don't have money. Exactly that. And Real Madrid. Absolutely. They said that Odegaard was better than Bruno, and that was mainly based on them not liking Bruno for throwing his hands up. Bruno's the best number 10 in the league. He's not the best number 8, but he's best number 10. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He's the best number 10 in the league and in the world probably right now. And yeah, Odegaard is nowhere near Bruno. No. Odegaard obviously went to Real Madrid very young, didn't he? Another one who's a very highly rated player went to Real Madrid and it sort of fell flat on his face, didn't it? At the end of the day, guys, it sort of went quiet in regards to Odegaard and things like that, didn't it? He's done well in the first. I think he done well when a couple of seasons at Arsenal, but I think he is stagnating a little bit at Arsenal. If I'm right, guys. Thank you, guys. Have a great day, great evening, great night, wherever you are in the world. Ignore the trolls. We're all good. Manchester United tomorrow. I don't think I'm doing a watch along. Keep your notifications on this well. In case I do a watch along today. So it'd be great to have you guys on board, of course, guys. Thank you so much. You're absolute legends. I'll see you later anyway. Have a good day. And guys, smash a like on the way out as well. We need 50 likes. Have we got 50 likes, guys? And big up everyone who supports the channel. Thank you so much. I'm Sal Warner. This is Stretford Post, Breaking Dawn. See you later. Peace.